Since it's the start of a new year, I know this is definitely a time when a lot of people like to do New Year's-y things with resolutions, oftentimes in terms of organizing and decluttering. And so I thought that this would be a perfect time to share how I organize and catalog my Disney pin collection. I have quite a lot of Disney pins, and I happen to display all of my pins on corkboards. So that means I kind of display my pins as art, as collectibles, but even so, I need to have a system where I kind of know what pins that I have and keep things pretty neat and organized. So the main base level that I'm able to organize and categorize things is just by using PinPics.com. If you aren't familiar with PinPics, it is a pin trading database of pretty much every single Disney pin in existence. So right now I feel like there's over 130,000 items on there, so there is a lot of stuff, and sometimes it can be very difficult to actually find the pin that you're looking for. But PinPics is all user-submitted data, so whenever new pins come out, people will take pictures of the pin, they'll upload some information about the pin, and then you as a PinPics user can either categorize that pin as something you own, something you want, or something you have for trade. So with every pin in my collection on my boards, I have on my PinPics account them selected under pins that I own, and it also allows you to select the quantity of that pin if you happen to have multiples. And so on your PinPics profile, it will also give you a full tally of how many pins you've selected under any of the categories. So I feel like updating and maintaining your PinPics own list is the best way to catalog and kind of know all the pins that you have. But PinPics is just kind of the base of what I do. What I also have here is a full binder of all of my backer cards for my pins that I have on my boards. And so this is my kind of personal organization cataloging system that I can keep for my pins, because I know there are some traders and they will just have their pins in books. They don't really display them, they're more for collecting. But a question that is asked a lot is, should you keep the backer cards for your Disney pins? And I always say yes. And so now I'm going to share my system for being able to catalog and organize all of the pins that I have. So even though on the boards themselves, they're just organized into their own collections, here's kind of my full physical catalog of all the backer card pins I have. So here is my big binder of backer cards that I keep and organize. So the way that I have all of these pins is that I write on a Post-it note, put it on the back of the pin, just kind of a name or descriptor of the pin. So this is a pin from the old Disney's California Adventure, and it's a Sam Andreas Shakes pin. And then in the bottom corner, I've written the PinPics number. So that way I know exactly which pin in the system it corresponds to. I have this pin number on my profile, and then it's a perfect Post-it note size because it's pretty much the exact size of the backing card. And I have it on the back because the SKU number is also helpful in terms of looking up the pin and having it as an identifier. So I have all my backing cards sorted kind of by origin and backer card type. So these pins in front are the old school, really nice backing cards. These are how the backing cards were when I started collecting pins in the Disney parks. These are really nice. And so it doesn't really have anything to do with origin of the pin other than these are always going to be older. And then I keep everything in here. These are just your standard 9-pocket like baseball card holders, or really any kind of trading card holders. These are really the perfect size for kind of your standard Disney backing card. So I have them on one side, and then I also have them on the other side. So I have 2 backing cards per slot. And then these move on to a different type of backing card. These are your standard regular black Disney Parks backing cards. Again, a little pin name identifier. This isn't the same name that PinPics gives the pin, because I feel like sometimes those names aren't the best describer. I kind of make a description for myself, but it's the PinPics number that will link to its actual listing. So I have in here, these are all just the regular black backer cards. Again, 2 per 1 slot. And then I also have things, now this is kind of arbitrary, just how I like to do things, switching over to the maroon or red Disney Parks collection backer cards. So I have these separated because these are more so for kind of attraction related things, obviously since this is Disney Parks collection. So I have those backer cards separated. And then here they have the new style of the Disney Parks collection, which are these white backer cards. I also kind of unnecessarily have things separated into unique or interesting backer cards. So like here, all the pins from Pandora have their unique backer cards. So I just like to have them all separated. And then in addition to that, I also do something else a little bit extra and unnecessary. So most of the time for mystery pins that I really like and want to keep, I will cut up the box and kind of turn that into a backer card. And so that way for mystery pins, I still will have kind of something physical in my book here. I don't necessarily do this for all mystery pins, and I don't create like separate sheets for just like hidden Mickey pins or any pins that don't happen to have backer cards. I'm more concerned about being able to like reunite a backer card with a pin than I feel the need to create a backer card for every single pin that I have. Because at least on PinPics, I will have all of the pins, and these will just be kind of the more physical backer pins. So now is when I move into more of the special categories and other ways I do things. This is my relatively small selection of limited release pins. So in the bottom right corner, I will write a little LR so I know it's also limited release. And then usually always the backer cards will also say limited release on them. The much bigger collection of things that I have are for limited edition pins. So limited edition, I will do something kind of similar. And then in the bottom right corner, I will write the edition size on it so that I know exactly what the pin Ellie is. Now, so this pin happens to be a cast member exclusive, and because I don't have too many just regular cast member exclusive pins, I don't have them in a separate category, and they're just kind of all among the Ellie pins. So there's quite a few pages of Ellie pins, and I really always like to keep the backer cards for Ellie pins because they're usually very unique and tied to the pin. So this was from the Donut Shop series, and the backer card is fully customized to the specific series. So when it's just like the regular plain black backer card, the only thing that's tying it to the pin is, I can get it on the back, is that SKU number. So I still like to keep it, but if you're not into saving these pins and having to mark on the back exactly what it is, I think it's nice to at least keep the special limited edition backer cards like this. And then also with these, I'll note that these Donut Shop pins and some of the other limited edition series pins have larger backer cards, but they do generally all fit in here. Sometimes they might just be a little bit taller, and I'll keep them toward the bottom. So we're finally, there we go, just about done with limited edition pin backer cards. And now I'm going on to pins from other parks and places. So here I have my Hong Kong Disneyland pins. You can't tell from just the back, but usually the front of the backer cards will say Hong Kong Disneyland on it. Again, double-sided. And then I have a separate sheet for limited edition pins. So I like to separate just regular pins from my Ellies. I have the exact same for Disneyland Paris. And Paris oftentimes have some kind of nice and unique backer cards. These here are the limited edition pins for Paris, again with these Ellie sizes marked there. Then these are pins from Tokyo, and I have mixed these pins together. So some are from the parks, some are from the Japan Disney store, just because I don't have enough to kind of separate them out. So this is just everything that's from Japan. Then next I have my Shanghai pins in here. Next up are pins from the Disney Studio Store Hollywood. And so the studio store has quite a lot of pins that come on these really big backer cards. So what I did is I just kind of merged two pockets together. So I just have kind of like a pouch down here that sort of fits the larger backer cards. It at least works well enough. And then I have a separate page for my Pin Trader Delight pins. Similarly, I have WDI pins here. They again have some larger backer cards. So I just sliced the bottom ones all together to create a larger pouch. I have here my Disney Store pins. It's a mix of all Disney stores, both US and Europe. I needed to add a newer section for box lunch pins since box lunch is cranking out a lot of pins. And then finally I have like miscellaneous, so I have some Walt Disney Family Museum pins. And then at the bottom here, I have some more backer cards that are just too big. So like this is from one of the newer 4-pin flare sets. This is a random pin. This actually comes from Singapore. So I've just created another kind of larger pouch in the bottom for them to go. And then finally I have some others that like just can't fit anywhere. Like this is from the Frozen Broadway musical. This is a smaller booster set, and so I just have those in the back pouch. But that is my primary system for organizing everything. The one thing I will note is that I don't really have them organized by PinPics number. I kind of, and you can tell for these, I started, but the PinPics number only has to do with when the pin was added to PinPics, and it doesn't necessarily relate to when the pin was released. So I don't have so many pins where it's like way too hard to search through and find the PinPics number if I'm going by that. I find because I'm frequently adding new pins in, I don't want to have to always try and reorganize things so that they go by PinPics number. I just kind of put the pin backer cards in as I get them. In addition to my book, I also have kind of my queue of backer cards. So this is a cute little tin from Tokyo Disney Sea. Got it in a Tokyo Quad Club mailer, and I think this is perfect for storing backer cards that I haven't yet organized and cataloged. So for instance, this is a Disney Studio Store Hollywood Pin Trader Delight backer card, and it hasn't yet been added to PinPics. So I'm gonna wait until it shows up on PinPics, and if somebody else doesn't upload it, then I can upload it myself. But this is everything that I have in my queue to look through on PinPics, or there are still some backer cards in here that I've had in here for quite a while, and it's because the pins still have not been added to PinPics and they're not new. So I'm guessing they must not be that common, and I might have to take it upon myself to add them. But I think it's great to have like a tin of your cards in queue that you can keep, and then I'll just kind of have things pile up in here for a while, and then I have a session where I look through PinPics, write down the number, and then put them in my book. I also have a few more organization systems related to Disney pins. This is not the best organization system, but this is how I keep my holiday Disney pins. Because I use my pins for display, I don't necessarily need all my Halloween and Christmas pins out year-round, but I have this really cute tote bag. It's from Hong Kong Disneyland, and inside I have lots of small circular cork boards with the pins on them. So here I have 2 boards that I've just placed my Christmas pins on. I know this isn't the total best way to keep them, but when you just stack the cork boards like this, all the pins are totally well protected. They're just in a tote, so nothing's going anywhere. I've also got my Halloween pins on 2 little cork boards, so I find this system to be the easiest for me to keep my holiday pins, because I don't need like a full trading book to kind of keep them in. It's easy enough to have them on the small cork boards, which again are just little trivets from IKEA, and then I just have them in my little tote bag. Last up are my actual Disney trading pins, and I'll just quickly go over these because I already have a full video talking about how I store these and the products that I use. And for my trading pins, I use PinFolios. PinFolios are the absolute best way to store and organize your Disney trading pins. So I have a really cool custom channel one, and then I also have a PinFolio show. These have some of my nicer traders. I have 2 large Acme pins in the front because I can't really fit them anywhere else, but I do have more of my limited edition or limited release backer card list traders in here. And then on the inside I have 2 full pages of traders, and these are all pins that don't have backer cards. They're just more of mystery pins, booster pack pins, hidden Mickey pins. And then in the second PinFolio, I have what I'd categorize as more of my parks level traders. So these pins really aren't as nice or desired, but they're still authentic trading pins. So I'm planning on taking this to Disneyland this summer and use that for trading. And then in addition to those PinFolios, I also have one other binder. There's not much in it, but this is where I keep my trading pins on backer cards. So here again, I'm just using some baseball card holders. And so this is very similar to how I'll organize just my backer cards, but these actually have the pins with them. For some of them, I do have a sticky note on the back, like about the pin and the PinPics number. But because I'm trading these away, I decided I wasn't really going to keep up that system. So I don't so much in terms of catalog my trading pins, just because they do change out pretty frequently. Sometimes I'll try and update my PinPics account so I can keep updated traders, but I don't really use PinPics for trading. Very few people do actually use PinPics for trading. And since most of all the trading I do is online via Facebook groups, you just send people photos of your traders and that's kind of your catalog of them. So I mainly will just organize them based on kind of the level of the pin. These are some of the nicer pins that are actually on backer cards, the more Parks level traders, and then some of my nicer traders here. And so those were all the ways that I catalog and organize my Disney pin collection. Hopefully that gave you some helpful ideas for how to organize yours. Let me know if you have any other systems that you like to use. I know there are some people that will, on their corkboards, display the pins with the backer cards right there. So there's a lot of different systems that can work. I like the system that I have because on occasion there are pins in my collection that I decide I don't really want to keep, and so I can go right into my binder, find the original backer card, and put that with the pin. And I feel like that kind of helps keep the value of the pin a little bit better when either trading or selling in the future. Also, a note that's unrelated to this video is that I'm thinking I might have to change my upload schedule. So normally I upload every Wednesday and Saturday at 8 a.m. Pacific, but this semester I'm TAing in class where I do a live online webcast Wednesday nights starting at 8 p.m. So my entire Wednesday night is booked. Thursday nights I have a seminar class, plus that's in addition to working all day long. So I'm thinking I might be switching my Saturday upload to a Sunday upload so that I can actually have Saturday to work on and get out a video, since most of my days and nights will be busy with TAing and other work. But I'll put out a community post if I decide to make that official. Won't really be a big change, but hopefully I still will be able to keep up with the 2 videos a week. If not, definitely I can still do every single Wednesday. But thanks for watching!